Good morning, everyone. We are now here in Chapter 8. It is Analyzing and Interpreting Qualitative Data. So, for our topic outline, what are the 6 steps in analyzing qualitative data? How do you prepare and organize the data for analysis? How do you explore and code the data? How do you use codes to build descriptions and theme? How do you represent and report findings? How do you interpret findings? How do you validate the accuracy of your findings? So for our learning objectives, the end of the lesson, the student should be able to identify the 6 steps in the process of analyzing and interpreting qualitative data, describe how to prepare and organize the data for analysis, describe how to explore and code the data, use codes to build description and themes, construct a representation and reporting of qualitative findings, make an interpretation of the qualitative findings, and advanced validation of the accuracy of your findings. But before we proceed to the 6 steps, we will talk what is qualitative research. So when we say qualitative research, it gathers the participants' experience, perceptions, and behavior. It answers the how and why instead of how many and how much. It could be structured as a standalone study, purely relying on qualitative data. So qualitative research is a type of research that focuses on understanding the meaning and experiences of people. It's exploring why things happen rather than just how often they happen. So when we say qualitative data, it is a descriptive information that focuses on how concepts and characteristics rather than the number and statistics. So this qualitative data, this is the information that we gathered through qualitative research. So what are the 6 steps in analyzing qualitative data? So first is to prepare and organize the data for analysis. Second, explore and code the data. Third, coding to build description and themes. Fourth, represent and report qualitative findings. Fifth, interpret the findings. Sixth, validate the accuracy of the findings. First one, prepare and organize the data for analysis. So in qualitative study, initial data management consists of organizing the data, transcribing the interviews and typing field notes, and making decision to analyze the data by hand or by computer. So later we will know how should we prepare and organize the data on what's this step want to tell us. So but here in the first is that our initial data consists of the data that we gathered, transcribing the interviews and the field notes, and also here in the steps is we will make the decision to analyze the data by hand or using computer. For the second steps, we have to explore and code the data. Qualitative researchers conduct a preliminary analysis of the data by reading through it to obtain a general sense of the data. Major analysis of qualitative data consists of coding the data. The process of coding is one of reducing a text or image database to description and themes of people, places, or events. It involves examining the text database line by line, asking oneself what the participant is saying, and then assigning a code label to the text segment. So here is that the researchers conduct the preliminary analysis of the data by reading to get the general sense of the data. So one of these major analyses here is the coding of the data, in which the process of coding is that we reduce the text or image database to the description and themes, and we examine the text database line by line, asking oneself what as the participant is trying to say, and we assign a code label to the text segment. For the third steps, we have a decoding to build description and themes. So codes are then used to develop descriptions of people and places. They are used also to develop themes that present a broader abstraction than codes. These themes may be layered and organized to tell a story, or they may also be interconnected to portray the complexity of the phenomenon. So here, in the third steps, we will build the descriptions of people and places, which we can develop the themes that present in the abstraction than the codes. So these themes can be organized for us to tell the stories or the complexity of the phenomenon. Next is that represent and report qualitative findings. So qualitative researchers represent their findings in visual displays that may include figures, diagrams, comparison tables, and demographic tables. They report findings in narrative discussion comprising many forms such as chronology, question, or commentary about any changes that the participants experience. So here in the steps, or the fourth step, is that the researchers represent their findings in a visual display, like the figures, diagrams, comparison tables that shows their report. So in this report, findings in narrative discussion comprising many forms, such as the questions or the comments about the changes of the participants' experience. So for our fifth steps, we have interpret the findings. From this reporting and representing of findings, qualitative researchers make an interpretation of the meaning of the research. This interpretation consists of advancing personal views, making comparisons between the findings and the literature, and suggesting limitation and future research. So in this fifth steps is that the researchers can make an interpretation of the meaning of his research. So this interpretation consists the personal views and comparison of the findings of your research and the literature. Also, you can suggest the limitation and future research of your findings or your research. Steps is that they validate the accuracy of the findings. So to check the accuracy of the research, qualitative inquiries often employ validation procedures such as member checking, triangulation, and auditing. The intent of validation is to have participants, external reviewers, or the data sources themselves to provide evidence of the accuracy of the information in the qualitative report. So here is that the inquiries in qualitative will employ validation procedures such as the checking, auditing of the data. The intent of this validation is to have participants, external reviewers, or the data sources themselves provide evidence of the accuracy of the information of your qualitative. You can see in the figure, it is the qualitative process of data analysis. So this process does not always taking up in the sequence. As also you can see, it is the bottom-up approach. So or inductive in form, that means going from the particular or the detailed data to the general codes and theme. The next one is it is also simultaneous. As you can see in the figure, it is a simultaneous process of the analyzing where you are also collecting the data. So the collection of data and analysis are simultaneous activities. The third one is it is also an iterative. As what you can see in the figure is that the meaning of iterative is that you can cycle back and forth between the data collection and analysis. In qualitative research, you might collect the stories from individuals and return more information to fill in gaps in their stories as your analysis of their stories proceeds. Then last one, it is also interpretive, or qualitative research is interpretive research, in which you make a personal assessment as to description, that fits the situation and themes that capture the major categories of information. Let's proceed to the first steps in how do you prepare and organize the data for analysis. So first is that organize the data. So as an early stage in qualitative analysis, you organize the data into file or computer files or file folders or computer files. So organization of the data is a critical in qualitative research because of the large amount of information gathered during this study. So the extensive of the data that an interview yields often surprises for the new researchers. So for example, a 30-minute interview will often result in about 20 pages of single-space transcription. So with this sizable amount of data, the transcribing and organizing of information requires a system of organization which could take several forms, such as developing a matrix or a table of sources that can be used to help organize the material. So for you to help organize the data, you should create a table or the figures that can use to help you organize the material. The second one is organize the material by type: all interviews, all observation, all documents, and all photographs or other visual materials. As an alternative, you might consider organizing the materials by participant, site, location, or some combination of these approaches. So you can also organize the materials by all interviews, all observation, all documents, or all photographs. Or you can organize it by participants, by the location, or by the site. And last one is keeping duplicate copies of all forms of the data. So here for you, for you to have the duplicate copies, or when you misplace it, you have a duplicate copy, or when you accidentally delete it in your computer, so you have a duplicate copy. And already on how to organize the data. Now let's proceed on how to transcribe the data. So during qualitative data collection, you will collect text or words through interviewing participants or by writing field notes during observation. This necessitates a need to convert these words to a computer document for analysis. So alternatively, you might listen to the tapes or read your field notes to begin the process of analysis. So when the time is short, you might you may be able to have only a few minute interviews or a few observational notes transcribed. So the most complete procedure is to have all interviews and all observation notes transcribed. So as a general rule of the thumb, it makes approximately 4 hours to transcribe the 1 hour of tape. It is according to Dana Miller. So hence, the process of transcription is labor intensive and you will need to allow adequate time for it. So the process of converting audio tape recordings or field notes into the text data is called the transcription. So in this is you will convert the audio tape to the text. Here the hints for transcribing audio tape interviews. So hints for tape interviews: the transcriptionalist view Donald Callenfred, word processing central at the Teachers College, University of Nebraska at Lincoln. So this following suggestion, as a result of several years experience transcribing research interview tapes, or the result of their experience in transcribing research interview tapes. So first is, please use an external microphone. This places voices clear to the microphone and away from the noise of the tape recorder itself. If you must use a machine with an internal microphone, place it as close to both interviewee and interviewees as possible. High-quality tape recorders also ensure better result and reduce background noise, especially if an external microphone is not available. Second is for telephone interviewees or for telephone interviews, please use a telephone pickup device. For the third is please keep the microphone and or tape recorder away from the possible loud noise interference, electronic devices, the telephone on a desk, coffee cups or glasses that might be set on the same table as the microphone. So as an important word or phrase, you can be lost with the interference of one loud noise. So for fourth, for interviewers, try to induce slower, more distinct speech by speaking calmly yourself. Try asking questions slowly and distinct so that the interview will respond in a likely manner. Practice keeping your voice up all the way to the end of the sentence using clear diction. Important questions or problems are sometimes lost because the interviewers trail off or speaks less distinctly at the end of the sentence. So fifth is use new high-quality tapes and good well-maintained recording equipment. If you must rely on previous used tapes, make sure that they have been used only once or twice. And for six is that think clearly about the format you want for your printed transcription. Consider the margin size and the amount of space you want left for comments, double or triple spacing, large margins for coding and purposes. So by following these steps can ensure better quality for your research transcription, making research easier and your result more accurate. Other case, for interview data, transcriptionists need special equipment to help create the transcript. The equipment consists of a machine that enables the transcriber to start and stop tape recordings or to play them in a speed so that the transcriber can easily follow them. So here are a few more guidelines on how to facilitate transcription. First is create the 2-inch margins on each side of the text document so that you can jot down notes in the margins during data analysis. The second one is leave extra space on this page between the interviewee and the interviewer's comments. This enables you to distinguish clearly between speakers during the data analysis. Highlight or mark in some way the questions asked by the interviewer. You will not analyze your questions, but identifying them clearly indicates where one question ends and another begins. Often you will analyze all answers to single question. Fourth one is use complete detailed headers that contains information about the interview or observational session. Examine interview and observational protocols to see the type of content to be included in transcription. Is transcribe all words and type the word pause to indicate when interviewers take a lengthy break in their comments. These pauses may provide useful information about times when interviewees cannot or will not respond to a question. You can also record other actions occurring during an interview. So for example, type laughter when the interviewee laughs, telephone rings to indicate a phone call that interrupts the interview, or inaudible to mark when the transcriptionist cannot determine what is being said. As a general approach, transcribing all words can provide the data that captures all words will provide data that captures the details of an interview. next is the analyze by hand or computer. So with the popularity of computers, researchers have a choice about whether to hand analyze data or to use a computer in analyzing the data. So we have the two, the hand analysis of qualitative data and the computer analysis of qualitative data. First, for hand analysis qualitative data. So the researchers read the data, mark it by hand, and divide it into parts. So here is traditionally analyzing text data involves using color coding to mark parts of the text or cutting and pasting text sentence onto cards. So using a hand analysis may be preferred when you first analyzing a small database, fewer than 500 pages of transcript or field notes, and can easily keep track of files and locate the text passages. The second one is are not comfortable of using the computers or have not learned a qualitative computer software program. Third is want to be close to the data and have a hands-on feel for it without the intrusion of a machine. Then lastly is have time to commit to a hand analysis, since it is a labor-intensive activity to manually sort, organize, and locate words in a text database. Now let's proceed to the computer analysis of qualitative data. So researchers use a qualitative computer program to facilitate the process of storing, analyzing, sorting, and representing or visualizing the computer. So with the evolve of the computers, the researchers can choose whether the hand or the computer analysis, or using the computer or the hand. So whether to use the hand or computer, you will be base your decision on several factors. So use a computer program when you first is analyzing a large database, more than 500 pages of transcript or field notes, and need to organize and keep track of extensive information. The second one is are adequately trained in using the program and are comfortable of using computers. For the third is have resources to purchase a program or can locate one to use or can locate one to use. Then for the fourth one is need a close inspection of every word and sentence to capture specific codes or meaning of the passage. Now let's proceed to the use of qualitative computer programs. So, qualitative data analysis computer program, it is a type of program that stores the data, organizes the data, and enables you to assign labels or codes to your data and facilitates searching through your data and locating specific text or words. So, qualitative data analysis computer program, it is the program that stores your data and organizes your data. And this help you to assign labels or codes of or to your data. So we have here the procedures of using software programs. So the general procedures for using a software programs are as follows. First is convert a word processing file into a text file or import the word processing file directly in the computer program. The word processing file will be a transcript and review, a set of field notes, or other text such as the scanned document. The second one is to select a computer program to use. This program should have the features of storing the data, organizing the data, assigning labels or codes, and searching the data. Third step is enter a file into the program and give it a name. For the fourth is go through the file and mark sentences or paragraphs of ideas that pertain to what the participant is saying in the text. The fifth one is they provide a code label for the block text. Continue the process of marking text and providing code labels for the entire text file. So 6 steps is after blocking and assigning labels to the text, search for all the text matching each code and print out a file of the text passages. And lastly is collapse the code or break down the code labels into the few broad themes or categories and include evidence for each category. We have here now the basic features of software program. So as you can see in the figure, this will be features to consider when comparing the qualitative data analysis software. So first, in ease of integration and using the program is Windows or Mac is compatible. Is the software is compatible. It is easy to use in getting started, or can you easily work through a document. So in type of the data program will accept is will it handle the text data, or also when will it handle the image or your photos of your data. And reading and reviewing text, can it highlight and connect the quotations, or can it search for specific text passages? So for memo writing, does it have the capability for you to add notes or memos, or can you easily access the memos to write? So in categorization, madali ba siya or can easily develop codes? Can easily apply codes or text or images? Can you easily display the codes, or can you easily review and make changes in the code? For analysis, inventory, and assessment is that can you sort for specific codes? Can you combine codes in research? Can you develop a concept map with the codes? And can you make a demographic comparison with the codes? So in quantitative data is can you import a quantitative database? And can you export a word or image qualitative database to a quantitative program? So in merging project is can more than one researchers analyze the data and merge analysis for these researchers. So we have here some specific programs available. So this is a brief summary of major program follow. So first is we have the Atlas T. So at this Windows PC programs enables you to organize your text, graphic, audio, and visual data files along with your coding, memos, and findings into a project. So further, you can also code, annotate, and compare the segments of information. You can rapidly search, retrieve, and browse all the data segments and notes relevant to an idea. And importantly, build unique networks that allow you to connect visually selected passages, memos, and code in a concept map. The second one is the Hyper Research. So this program is available for both Windows PC and Mac. It is an easy to use qualitative software package that enables you to code and retrieve, build theories, and conduct analysis of your data. Now, with the advanced multimedia capabilities, this allows you to work with the text, graphics, audio, and video sources, making it a valuable research analysis tool. Hyper Research is a solid code and retrieve data analysis program with additional theory, building features, and provided by the hypothesis tester. Next specific programs or the major programs that available is the Max Kyoda. So this Windows PC program is a powerful tool for text analysis that you can use for grounded theory-oriented code and retrieve analysis, as well as for more sophisticated text analysis. It enables you to combine both qualitative and quantitative procedure. This program has a simple, easy-to-use interface or for main window showing imported text, codes, decoded data segments, and the text itself. A unique feature is that you can weight the codes to give a measure of the significance of a piece of coding. You can easily copy, merge, split, or delete codes. Data matrices can be imported and exported between the SPSS, SAS, and other statistical package. So it is also has a mixed methods, the quantitative and qualitative application. For the last one, we have the NVivo. So this software program is also for the Windows PC. It combines efficient management of non-numerical unstructured data with powerful processes of indexing, searching, and theorizing. Designed for the researchers making sense of complex data. It also offers a complete toolkit for rapid coding through exploration and rigorous management and analysis rigorous management and analysis. So especially valuable is the ability of the program to create text data matrices for comparisons. It also provides for visually mapping, categorizing, identified in your analysis.